this part of DynamoDB video series, I have planned to show you how GSI work on an existing table, how read capacity unit is consumed, how write capacity unit is consumed, and how DynamoDB GSI index scales itself, how can we provision different settings, configurations while creating a new GSI, right? So that is what I am going to show you. So for this video, what I have done is, so I have taken some sample data model in NoSQL workbench, which is this credit card offers data model. It has one table, credit card offers. It already has two GSIs. These are the two GSIs, account index, GSI 1. So this data is related to credit card offers, right, which has two GSIs, some facets. Facets are nothing but a kind of structure of the table. It is a logical representation. It does not have to do anything related to DynamoDB concepts, related to GSI, LSI, read capacity unit, write capacity unit, etc. So if you want, you can ignore this also. Now if we go to visualizer, so I can show you this data looks like this. So partition key is this account ID, then sort key is also account ID, and other fields are there like offer for this account ID, right? And then some attributes which are non-key attributes. If I look at this GSI account index, this is a GSI which is having only the partition key in account ID. It is given a name as account index ID, which has account specific detail, then GSI which has this primary key, which is a composite primary key, which is a combination of PK and GSI 1 SK. What I have done is I have committed this to DynamoDB so that our data model along with this data is shifted to DynamoDB AWS console. There we will create a new GSI and I will show you how to configure all those settings, or we can create a new GSI from here also. In case you are finding this NoSQL workbench new, I have recorded another video where I have covered NoSQL workbench in detail, right? So please feel free to watch that video also in case you are not familiar. And believe me, NoSQL workbench is one of the best GUI for DynamoDB. If I come here and select this data model, click on edit, here I will get a option to create, add new attributes or create GSIs. But for now I am switching to AWS DynamoDB console. So if you see, the table is already present here. There are some rows present also here, right? If I click on explore table items, and if I query any of this, let us say I want to query this order ID, and I can either query this credit card offers which is having PK value. I can query it, I will run it. It has returned 2 records. Now let us query on this GSI. This is expecting account index ID. I am giving some offer ID here. Let us see. It did not return any results, right? So same way, if I perform scan here, run. Now let me copy an account ID. So let us copy this account ID, query this GSI. I do not want to scan, I want to query it. Please note that we must avoid scan operation as much as possible on DynamoDB, because otherwise the read capacity unit usage will be exponential and you will be surprised with the cost of your DynamoDB at the end of billing cycle. So now I have queried this account index ID GSI and it has returned me this. Now let us try to query another GSI which is expecting this. So here I will have to write OFR hash 123 or I will copy it from here. This is my PK, that is partition key. I can do this, right, and I can get all these details. So this is on the querying part. Now let me go to the creation of new GSI. If you go to this indexes section, there are already two indexes which have already been created. Primary key is a combination of this partition key and sort key. In the first one, it is only this one. Earlier I showed you the same thing in NoSQL workbench. Now I am showing you this in AWS console. Please note this part. This is a very important configuration, that range minimum capacity of read capacity unit to be consumed 1, maximum it is 10, right? So whenever read capacity goes beyond 10 units, it will start giving the throughput exceeded exception. And auto scaling, let us say initially it is consuming only 1 read capacity unit or 2 read capacity units it is consuming, then at the 70% usage it should scale up and maximum should reach at the level of 10, and current provision capacity is 1, right? So don't worry, I will be explaining this in my coming videos also in detail, that how DynamoDB scales automatically the read write capacity units. Same is the case with write capacity units also, range, auto scaling, and most important, project attributes. It includes middle name, email ID, first name, and so on. And same is the case with this one. And what is the size of this? Right now the size of this index is 1.7 kilobytes. This size is 1.5 kilobytes. Item count, this index is having 7 items, while the following index is having 8. Now let us try to create a new index. Create index. I will have account of for start date as the partition key, and offer type as the sort key of this, and I can give it a name GSI. It could be any name, but it is always recommended to use GSI underscore as a prefix. The name is GSI underscore followed by whatever you want, but the field names are preferable. Then I can have capacity calculator, or I can copy from base table. I can have customized setting. Auto scaling, do I want to have auto scaling implemented or not, off or on, then 1, 10, at what level this auto scaling should be triggered, right? So that setting can be done. Copy from base table, write capacity, customize setting, auto scaling for write operations. Please note that this will depend on your application design, or what is your application requirement. It will vary from application to application. Some applications are read specific, some applications are write heavy, so please provision these settings accordingly. Estimated cost is this much. It has shown me the estimated cost per month based upon this configuration. Attribute projections, only keys include, I will include, let us say, this PK, or I will include account ID, and create index. And please note that we cannot directly write to DynamoDB indexes. It is the responsibility of DynamoDB to replicate whatever data is written into base table into the respective indexes, whether it is GSI or LSI. LSI we are going to discuss in my next video. Let me show you the querying of DynamoDB GSI, how much it costs. So if you see here, I am running scan, and if I click on this account index, this is an index here. If we run this, and if you see here, it has returned 7 records, and read capacity units consumed is 0.5 here, which is half of 1 read capacity unit. and let us try to query something. And please note that there are only 7 records available for this index. That is why scan has led to only 0.5 read capacity unit consumption. But if there are so many records, thousands, millions or billions of records, then you should not use scan operation at all, because you can imagine the amount of read capacity units consumed by this, right? And the cost is totally based upon read capacity units, which I am going to cover in my future videos. Query, this is the account index, and for querying, please note that I must have to give value of partition key and sort key, because this index is having only partition key, then it is fine. If I give only the partition key value, and sort key is not mandatory when you are querying this GSI, but sort key will limit the number of records which are returned as a part of this query. And here also read capacity consumption is 0.5 units. I hope you have got a fair understanding of GSI, its concepts, how this auto scaling is going to work or can be configured, right? And how you can delete these indexes. So for now, let me delete any one of this index because I don't need this. Delete. Now this request has failed because already one operation is in pipeline. Once this is done, I can delete my other indexes also. And please note that why it is taking time, because whatever data we have in table, it has to be replicated based on our index setting. It will replicate partition key and sort key for that, and it will have this field projected also, right? So with this, I would like to stop here as far as GSI demo is concerned. I hope you have liked this video and you have found it useful. In case you want me to cover any topic in DynamoDB or AWS or Big Data, JavaScript, Node.js, React.js, please don't hesitate to post your comments in the description section of this video, or you can catch me on my social channels also. I am available on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook as well. So don't hesitate to contact me on that. Thank you so much for watching this video so far. See you in my next video.